What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? How are you this evening? Bing. So listen, I haven't done a video in a few days. I've been a little under the weather. Um, a little under the weather, you know what I mean? And plus, like I said, I've been my grandmother's been here, and that's a job in itself. A lot of you guys said, Nick, you know, you haven't been online. I haven't had an Xbox. I just got a new Xbox. My grandmother literally stuck a fork in my Xbox. For what reason? Don't know. She said she was trying to get the mail. So this is what I'm dealing with. Yes, my grandmother. Love her to death, though. I'm just happy she didn't get shocked or anything like that. Actually, the console wasn't even plugged up. The power strip to that it is plugged in wasn't even plugged into the wall. I was painting, so I haven't. So that's the reason why you guys haven't sent me online, and I just haven't had the chance to go out and buy me a new Xbox One. Just that install some of my games again. So yeah, so that's why I'm back. Now I'm back like cook crack. And I went to play my favorite game. You know, guys know I love NBA 2K. And for whatever reason, I can't get online. It's telling me I'm keep getting this error. So I'm pretty pissed off about that. So I'm gonna have to reach out to Microsoft. I don't know what 2K got the worst servers in the goddamn world. Now, with that being said, I had um I've been like I said, I get a few things on, there's articles that are sent to me from you guys. And so I put, on in BGST, we have our own, not our own, we have our own little private chat, Twitter thing, whatever behind the scenes. And we always send back and forth, articles and stuff and talking about the media, how things aren't fair, you want to say. Things have always been like have always been, to me, and this is my opinion, maybe you guys may feel different, but to me, it seemed like, Microsoft never really gets the fair shake of things. And when you say things like this, it's like, oh, telling a Jewish person the Holocaust never happened, or telling a person of color, oh, slavery was so long ago, it's not a big deal. I won't take it to that extreme, but when you say that there's a media bias against the Xbox brand itself, when an Xbox fan says this, they act like we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So there was an article that I came across yesterday, and I just put it up in our chat. I'm sorry, not in our chat. It says, "Is the Xbox One irrelevant?" You know what I mean? It says these days it seems like gamers are. Actually, let me share my screen with you guys so you can see what the hell I'm talking about here. And I mean, reading this shit, like, this shit is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. No, I do understand it, but it's just crazy as hell. Let me make this a little bigger for you guys. You know what I mean? This is the inception of BGST and why the brands that I created. Well, even like I said, the character and Crap does what he does, and Tim does what he does. You know what I mean? Because things are not fair. Trust me. It seems like all you talk is about negative Sony news, because no one really talks about the things that they do wrong. It's always what Xbox is not doing, or what the Xbox brand, what it could do, and what I think is so horrible. And again, I'm not saying that I'm the spokesperson for Microsoft. They're their own goddamn mouthpiece, but they're not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I just find it funny as hell. Anyway, it says Alex S. from Link Cable writes, these days it seems like gamers everywhere are either talking about the PlayStation 4 and its great lineup of upcoming games, or the Nintendo Switch. How it's going to pull Nintendo out of the dark days of the Wii U era. Both these systems are dominating game-related headlines and are definitely occupying that of so many important top of the mind spots in the gaming circle. Click on the field. This is crazy as hell. Now, it says here, since E3 2016, Sony and Nintendo have a combined 7 presentations ranging from major hardware reveals to smaller presentations focusing on a single title, not including the Sony and Nintendo Heavy Game Awards. These events have provided massive exposure to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR, Nintendo 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch. I'm just going to stop wait, I'm sorry. I'll read it. This is, which is a big reason why those consoles are so popular amongst the gamers right now and occupy a major amount of the chatter online. And that time, Microsoft has answered with a drum roll, please. A grand total of 0 presentation dedicated to the Xbox One and its games. Zip, nada, zilch. This has left Xbox owners in sort of a limbo as they eagerly await the news. Any news of what's is coming next for their console of choice with no prepared in sight. Oh, but listen, I'm gonna stop right there. Which I think this is a bunch of bullshit. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but let's be clear. Let's be honest, okay? Since the start of this generation, unless I'm mistaken, it's been Microsoft that has pushed forward games. You look at E3 2013. It's E3. Not talking about that massive fail of a presentation. We're talking about E3. Microsoft showed nothing but games. Look at the launch of the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Crimson Skies. Crimson Dragon, Killer Instinct, Max Curse of the Brotherhood, Rise. I mean, I can go on and on. Well, here's for the PlayStation. All you had was you had Killzone, Knack, and Riz, what you call it, the little, that's it. Sony has fell back on having, quote unquote, having the better version of the multiplats. Now, I've said this since E3, and I said, starting when the rumors starts circulating around about these new consoles, and I told you guys back then, whether who choose to believe me or not, that when it comes to hardware, Microsoft would never be outgunned again. I told you guys this about a year and a half ago, but and this was told to me by a certain individual. You know what I mean? So whether you listen to what I was saying then, or whether you said I was making this shit up, it doesn't even matter. We're so far past that. But I think is funny. I even addressed this to I forgot the guy's name in one of my last live streams. He said, "Well, the Scorpios come on, but power. Microsoft need more than power. Where they're excluded the games." If I'm not mistaken, for the last 3 years, all we heard about was power, and not just from the Sonys, not from the play slaves, not just from the ponies. You heard this from the head of PlayStation, Yoshida. Resolution 1080p makes you a better gamer. You can see the enemies on the screen better when you're playing. Now, this is coming from the higher ups at Sony. You know what I mean? And again, and I would say this. There's a difference between here online. I can't see in the real world. The games that you Sony guys like to, you put on your list, the Godzillas, the Tropico 5s, and MotoGP 19, all that shit like that, right? Attack of the Titan, even though Attack of the Titan is on the Xbox One now, but all these games you name. But when the Xbox guys give you their list, you're not going to see Ori and the Blind Forest. You're not going to see Local Cycle. You're not going to see, what was that Halo game on the goddamn inside the arcade store? The Halo, whatever, the little side scroller shooter. We don't put games like that on the list. You know what I mean? But Sony guys do. You know what I mean? When I was talking about down to AAA exclusive, the meat in the fucking potato. Even look, the prime example. I love a game named Raiden. I don't think that should have been $60. You know what I mean? My man, shout out to Heba. He told me about the sale. It went down, I think, like $20 or $30, but I wasn't home at the time. By the time I got back home, on a connection, I probably could have ordered it off my phone or whatever. The sale was no longer. I'm not paying $50-$60 for Raiden. Anyway, Raiden is another Xbox exclusive, but it's a small niche title. It's like a shooter on rails, like Gyro, not Gyro, Mike, like Radius and stuff like that. Galaga, like one of those shooters like that. I like games like that. One of my favorite, old school. You're not going to see Xbox gamers put games like that on their list. But Sony, with this list of games, even with Kingdom Hearts 2.8, a goddamn 3DS game, and it looks like still a fucking 3DS game, which is, like I said, I'm not into, and I'm not knocking those that like those type of games. Cool, but we're just talking about the meat and the potatoes, or whatever, or you have Sony guys give you this list of indies when Sony was still pumping that indie shit because they didn't have any exclusive. It was everything with this indie craze shit, right? You know, they put these games on their goddamn list, right? But basically, you're not going to see Xbox guys do this. You know what I mean? We just talk about the meat, whether you like Gears, whether you like Halo, whether you like Forza, whether you like Sunset Overdrive, whether you like Rise Center Room. You know what I mean? Who have the better exclusives? That's all down to your opinion. But we're talking about, how you say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Microsoft has to release more AAA exclusives. I'm not talking about some shit straight to a movie that goes straight to Netflix. I'm talking about that goes to the big screen inside the movie theaters. Okay, you understand? This is what we're talking about. Remember one time we had a conversation on BGST, what makes a game a AAA game or whatever the goddamn case may be. Now, Showstopper is my brother, but sometimes he loses his mind and then he go finds and then he go reads his Bible. You know what I mean? Because he likes Persona 5 and those inky dinky games. How can make it say those inky dinky games? They're not for me. And again, I'm not knocking those that like them. This is not that type of video. You know what I mean? But I'm just talking about how the now the how should I say this? How you say maybe want to move the goal or the narrative is changing, right? But I said, I'm sorry, getting back to my initial thought, I said, you know what, Microsoft, you need to be the behemoth that you are. You know what I mean? Stop always reacting to what Sony does. You know, I remember me going back. We have some classic arguments. Those are my brothers on BGST. And I was telling crap in those guys. Microsoft don't need to show these goddamn indies at E3. If you remember, if you watched our live presentation during E3 of last year, I was saying they don't need to fucking show indies at E3. And I remember even Crapper, Tim was like, no, they got to do it. Now they're going to get slammed by the media because Sony's going to come out and do it. And Sony had their goddamn E3 and then show not one fucking indie. So I'm trying to say, you know, just be the behemoth that you are. Do what you're going to do. But I see again, the narrative is changing because now it's not about power anymore. Forget what the fuck we've been talking about for the last 3 years. We have the Nintendo Switch. Now, we all know how I feel about the Nintendo Switch, about the very shitty hardware, anemic, because this is what I understand. And to you motherfuckers, whether you're on the Xbox side, the PlayStation side, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? That's my uncle. I call him. Actually, hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Nephew.
All right, listen. See, first of all, say hello to the audience. You live on there.
Hey, what's up, audience? How y'all doing?
My uncle says hi. Y'all couldn't hear him. Look, give me about 15 minutes. Let me curse these ponies and these Nintendo niggas out right quick.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that Best Buy, they got the $20 4Ks again.
Oh, the movies?
Yeah, so they might have some you want, so take a look.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm gonna call you. I want to ask you something. I need to talk to you about something.
All right, cool.
You in the house? Oh, young up. That's my uncle. I'm sorry, but even back to what I was saying. You know, like forget what we've been talking about for the last 3 years. 1080p, what you guys been talking about. I always said it was silly for console gamers to talk about resolution. I always thought it was been the craziest shit in the world. 1080p, you know, give me 1080p or give me dev. 1080p makes you a better gamer, but 1080p only applies to Sony when they can get a game to be 1080p. But when their game is 900p, it's not an issue. Remember Assassin's Creed? You even had shout out the book. I don't have a problem with the dude. Spoke to him a few times. But remember that shit? Hashtag no parody. I'm mad. You remember that shit there? And I told you guys then, you know, maybe it's not the Xbox that's holding the PlayStation back because what I meant by that and what was told to me, and I'm not even claiming to be some tech guy, some tech genius, but when you both basically the Xbox One and the PS4 are about the same, you know, same architecture, whatever the case. Maybe like I said, more or less the Achilles heel has been for the Xbox One this generation, and the early onset was the eSRAM and the dev kits that they had. For what we know right now, and what has been told to me that the Xbox One really wasn't made for DirectX 11, and those dev kits it really will shine with DirectX 12 and stuff like that. But listen, just going for it. I'm not getting into. I think somebody's at the door now. Any technical smack. Whoever's knocking, the door's open. And not to get too technical, it's open. I'm sorry, not to get too technical, semantical, you know what I mean? So that's where you had the 720p games and stuff like that at the early on part of the generation. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. That's my daughter's grandmother. But anyway, as I was saying, so at the start of the generation, you had the 900p, you had the 720p and stuff like that, all the stuff. And like I said, that resolution stuff only matters for when it affects, Sony, when it's in Sony's favor. You know what I mean? Remember the whole hashtag no parity. And I told you guys, what if the PlayStation is holding the Xbox back? You know what I mean? Holding the Xbox back. And I told you guys that then. Because some graphics engines are more what's called CPU heavy than they are GPU heavy. And I forgot the name of this snow, not the Snowdrop engine, whatever the Assassin's Creed was, the engine they were using for that back then, Ubisoft, I'm sorry, was more CPU heavy. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the GPUs it was the CPUs. You know what I mean? So that came out. I guess it got swept under the rug. You know what I mean? Got a little swept under the rug, and they didn't talk about it as much. You know what I mean? But again, I digress. Now going forward, Chanel, going forward, right? We have it. We just now. We have the Scorpio on the way, and we have the Switch. Now it's clearly the Xbox is going to have the more powerful hardware, right? At a minimum, everything's going to be 1080p 60 across the board. At a minimum, then we're going to have 4K and so on and so on. Now it's not about resolution anymore. Now it's not about power, which that and stuff I think is kind of crazy because for the last 3 years, that's all we heard about, power and resolution. Now, none of this applies to Nintendo. None of this applies to Nintendo. None of this. You know what I mean? They can it's okay for them to go out there, do their own thing. And you know what? We're going to let Microsoft and Sony duke it out for the chapter. But listen, all I say this to the Nintendo guys out there, and this is the reason why, again, I can't support Nintendo anymore. I refuse. That have we not seen this movie already by them releasing extremely anemic hardware that's not going to get any major third-party games? You know what I mean? It's always going to be an issue when developers have to go out of their way and to make a game or port a game and shoehorn it in. You see what they're doing with FIFA. You know what I mean? They see what they're doing with FIFA. And they're getting a port of the PS3 and the 360 version, right? You know what I mean? But that's okay because it's Nintendo. Now, people treat I don't know, for whatever reason, like to treat Nintendo with these white gloves, like they're a 6-month-old baby, but it is what it is. But going forward, you know what I mean? And which I think is an absolute joke. They're releasing, the Switch is releasing when? In March? With Zelda, Bomberman, Skylanders, and Just Dance. Let that sink in. And to both of you guys on both sides of the fence, whether you're an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy, we've all seen the stories about Sony and their anti-consumerism. We've all seen these stories, right? How Sony is locking people out of their accounts, and we've all seen, and Xbox guys have hopped on it, right? But no one speaks of Nintendo and their anti-consumerism. Just say if I bought Super Mario Brothers 2 or 3 or whatever on my Wii, right, in the virtual console. Now the Wii U is out. Guess what? My digital purchase doesn't follow me. I have to be buying that game again on the Wii U, right? So now the Switch is coming out. I will have to buy Super Mario Brothers 3 again or whatever on the Switch. And you talking about anti-consumerism? But this is the company you guys are breaking your neck to go out there and support. Why to play? To make. Oh well, it's the class. What IPs? Mario, Zelda. Like, come on, man. And this is what the Xbox. This is why the Xbox brand is becoming irrelevant because you guys say that the Switch is on its way. Like, I think that is a joke. Now they just say, or PlayStation got some new heavy hitters coming out, some new exclusive games. Cool, I give you that. But because, like, come on, like, stop. This is a joke. This is a joke. You know what I mean? And I have a play. It's not like, again, now Nintendo. I want them jokes to crash and burn. I really feel that way because I really want Nintendo to compete. And if you guys have been rocking that from the beginning, I used to take up for Nintendo during BGST because I didn't think they would come out and put out another very trashy console like that again. They can't afford to, but they've done the same. You've heard the developer from Titanfall, Remedy, when he asked him, was Titanfall 2 coming to the Switch? And you heard what he said. You know what I mean? He said, no, the Switch is running the Wii U version of Legend of Zelda. You know what I mean? Nah, well, and again, I don't have a problem with the resolution. Never did. 900p or 30 frames a second, whatever the case may be. But it's okay. Resolution and none of stuff doesn't matter anymore. So what? The PS4 doesn't do native 4K upscales or checkerboard. That's okay. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. The how the narrative always changes. And to that I say to Xbox fans, stay true. You know what I mean? Stay true. Those same things, those same arguments you had against Sony, anti-consumerism and this, that, and the other, and horrible online. You never pay for PSN and this, and you got now you guys are willing to go out there and pay for the Nintendo Switch online, whatever the Nintendo network. Let's come on, stop. I'm just calling it BS both ways. Now I'm not saying you got to be an Xbox guy. Not saying if not being a Nintendo fan, but these you Xbox guys, and into you PlayStation guys and all these, they had your complaints on why you don't support like Microsoft because everything's behind a paywall and and those same arguments you have, take those same arguments and apply why you ask yourself why you get the Nintendo Switch. You're not buying you can't get the Xbox because the games are in 720p or 900p. Give me 1080p and give me death, but you guys are gonna run out and buy the Switch. That's why I don't take a lot of you jokers serious, man. Don't get me wrong. I do what I do for entertainment to have fun. I got a great sense of humor. But like, come on, those same principles and morals that you had, the same code of ethics that you guys lived and gained by for the last 3 years, all that's going out the window now, right? Because Nintendo's coming out with a Zelda, Nintendo's coming out with a Mario. Like, y'all guys are bugging, bugging. It's 2017, and their games still don't talk. And I'm not even trying to turn this into a bash Nintendo type video. I'm just saying for these jokers here in this comment section of this article that the Nintendo of the Xbox brand is coming irrelevant. Like what? The jokers is, you know what I mean? That's what, listen. I'm sorry, I'm close this. Like things be, like I don't understand, man. Like I do understand why they're doing it, but if even if you're a PlayStation guy, if you don't see think things are just kind of skewed in Sony's favor, whether the IGNs, the Kotaku. Phil Spencer put out a tweet, right, and said that he played Scorpio in the first game when it looks amazing, right? And in the score, he played, the Scorpio. So everyone, Xbox fans, gamers, was excited. Woo, woo, the Scorpio, yay, right? Not 30 minutes or so, an hour, I'll give him an hour, after Phil put out that tweet, they go Digital Foundry about this white paper, something they said they've been holding on since E3. Now, listen, I ain't claiming to be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but damn, you've been holding on this white paper since E3. Soon as Phil come out with, because they have, and again, that's why I blame a lot of their woes and they downfall on Microsoft because they're just too nice. Be the behemoth that you are. You know what I mean? You let these companies, you let these sites and stuff run with stuff. And, like you got some people still thinking that the Xbox doesn't play used games. You know what I mean? And again, a lot of that stuff, I blame Microsoft. They need to come out and say, and not to say what's in the Scorpio for those people, what's going to use Jaguar, this, that, and the other. You know, Chanel. Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I'm sorry for those I'm sorry. As I was saying, for those of you that are saying that like what Phil, like I said, I blame them because they're just too nice and come out. If it's not using, which we know it's not using Jaguar, so you know what? No, we're not using Jaguar. Games are going to look great. Leave it at that. Now, you know, so they had to go what chipset they're using and clock speeds. You ain't got to go to all that. But that's the hype. The walking Ed, all they're going to use is going to use Scorpio. I mean, it's going to use Jaguar, and it's not that much better than the PS4 Pro. We're talking about it at a minimum 6 T flops. Let's just do the math, right? The PS4 is 1.8. The PlayStation 4 Pro is 4.2. At a minimum, the Scorpio is 6 T flops. It would take the Pro and the standard PS4 added together to equal the Scorpio in terms of raw performance power. You know what I mean? Just let's let that sink in. You know what I mean? It's gonna. It would take the power of both of those to equal that. Actually, you know what I mean? Like it would take the power of both of those to equal that. So I'm sorry, I muted my mic. But to equal that, you know what I mean? So if you're saying the Scorpio is shitty hardware and this, that, and the other, what does that make the Pro? What does that make the PS4? Like I just don't understand that type of talk, man. I don't. And you know, I'm a console gamer. I said I'm a mature gamer and I stand by that console. That's my thing is. Well, all I'm saying to you guys, right? The basis of this video is that those same arguments that you had, same hate you had against the Xbox, and if you're in the Xbox side, the same hate you had against Sony, take all that stuff and look at Nintendo, what they have to offering. I'm just saying, you know, you same Sony guy, I can't buy that because it's 720p and 800p and the graphics, remember all that shit, Digital Foundry? This is Nintendo's ninth generation offering as a console. This is not their successor to the 3DS, regardless of what you guys made. And again, you guys that are out there are waving this fucking Nintendo Switch flag and says it's okay. They have to be as powerful because this is a handheld. I've never seen not one of you motherfuckers talk about handheld gaming on your channel. I've never seen you guys talk about the Vita. I've never seen you guys talk about the 3DS. Keep it fucking real. You know what I mean? So stop it with the bullshit, man. Stop. Enough is enough, man. Enough is a fucking enough. Stop. You know what I mean? Into, like I said, into these bias ass media sites, man. Like, stop. Xbox guys. I mean, you may not like to participate in some of the console war, which is cool. You can do what you do on your channel. But as a whole, we had to come up and speak against shit like this. And this right here shit is crazy. Is the Xbox One brand is irrelevant. Microsoft just released some numbers. They made $1 billion in a quarter on goddamn digital goddamn sales. Not 1 million, $1 fucking billion, man. You know, but they're irrelevant. And again, I'm not claiming to be Microsoft's mouthpiece, you know, or the spokesman for them. I just find shit like that just crazy to me, man. It's fucking sheer lunacy. You know, it's sheer fucking lunacy, man. You know, it's sheer lunacy to me, man. You know, maybe I'm overthinking it, man. But I think it's Mario. Get the fuck out of here. And until the guy that said the Scorpio's not going to have any exclusives. Maybe you may not like Sea of Thieves. I'm not too sure if I like Sea of Thieves. Maybe you may not like State of Decay 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to like State of Decay 2, to be honest with you. Maybe you may not. What else is coming out this year? Maybe you may not be into Killer Instinct or Forza Motorsport 7. I don't care for the motorsports. And the Killer Instinct I do like, but I don't care for motorsport. You know what I mean? I like the Horizon series. You know what I mean? What else? Like Crackdown 3. Maybe that may not be your type of game. It's cool. But guess what they do have? They're going to have the best version of Call of Duty. You know what I mean? The best version of Destiny 2. 4K 60. You know what I mean? PC textures. They're going to have the best version of whatever Star Wars Battlefront that's coming out this holiday season. They're going to have the better version of every fucking multi-plat going forward. Games will look better and run better on the Scorpio. The same thing that propelled the PlayStation to sell as well as it did. Okay? Let's be clear of this, okay? What was the last AAA game released from Sony? A fucking Uncharted. And that came out in March or May? Come on. When was the last AAA goddamn game that released on the PlayStation? So people are not buying these PlayStations for these niche fucking exclusives like you guys throw up on this list. Because if that was the case, look at the sales number. I remember they released some numbers. What was this shit? Attack of the Titan. That shit sold 7,000 copies for the month. So let's be realistic with ourselves, man. You know what I mean? Cool out with the cooling and the buck dancing over here. How many of you motherfuckers hyping up PlayStation VR? How many of you motherfuckers went out there and bought it? None of you. Like, I think it's because you come to my channel. He's an Xbox. I probably own more fucking PlayStation products than you. How many of you motherfuckers went out there and bought the Pro? That was talking all that shit about it, huh? And I'm gonna say this again to Sony, all right? If you're listening, stop it with the resolution shit, all right? You're wasting the PS4 Pro is 4.2 T flops. That's a lot of goddamn mustard on a hot dog to be in the console. But they're wasting the console's resources on trying to hit, well, it's not 4K, but 1800p and 1400p. Just lock the bitch at 1080p, 60 frames a second. Let it upscale to 4K and give us better textures. Give us better graphics. That's all they have to do. And the PS4 Pro will fucking sell like nobody's fucking business. Because the problem when the average guy, the consumer, walk into Best Buy or and they see the PS4 Pro hooked up or whatever, it doesn't look that much better than what they've already had for the last 3 years. And that's being truthfully. You know what I mean? Is HDR wonderful? But guess what? Sony said, oh, we can do HDR on a standard PS4 Pro. I mean, a standard PS4. Even, you know what I mean? I don't know how, but so they said they can do with their own version of HDR. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the Xbox, Project Scorpio, whatever, we're gonna have the best version on these multiplats. Okay, the same thing you guys been touting month after month. Because I told you guys again, exclusive don't hold the punch that they used to. We're living in a multi-plat generation from now on. Multi-plats rule. You see the same 10 multi-plats month after month. Duty, Destiny, Division, Minecraft, 2K, Madden. You know, you see the same 10 goddamn games month after month. And if you're lucky, your exclusive is going to chart for that 1 month. And that's it. It's going to be right back to the same goddamn multi-plats. You know what I mean? The same fucking multi-plat. If there was 50 million PS4 sold or whatever, it wasn't sold because of fucking Uncharted 4. Let's being honest, okay? That's just fact, you know. And the same thing with Microsoft and Halo. I'm gonna say you might receive a little bump in the hardware sales, but again, multi fucking plats rule. But like I'm not saying that exclusives are not important because it's exclusive. They give these consoles their identity. But you know, like I said in the day, you know, both the Xbox, which is important, Nintendo's not gonna have. You get exclusives every 4 months or so. Every 4 months, every 5 months or whatever. AAA, 3 to 4, you know what I mean? But the whole game is over until we get our hands on these new exclusives. We have those AAA multiplats every Tuesday. That's why I'm telling you, motherfuckers, this Switch shit is not gonna work. We already seen this movie with the Wii. We already seen this movie with the Wii U. The Switch does not appeal to the casuals. Okay? A casual's not going to go out there and spend $300 to play Mario or play fucking Zelda. It's not going to happen. If they're going to spend that type of money, when you can get a PS4 Pro or Xbox One S for $250, they're getting their duties, they're getting their Madden, they're getting all that other shit. You know what I mean? What the Switch does is speaks to their core audience. Them weirdo motherfuckers out there. That's them. That's still one of the 55-year-old men that still get off and collecting stars and all that shit. That speaks to them. You know what I mean? Nintendo still hasn't learned from their mistakes. You have to appeal to other people outside of your demographic. Okay? Because not everybody can afford to have multiple consoles. They can't. $300 is not shit for me, okay? I'm going to throw that out there. I can afford a Switch. But I'm not going to spend $300 to play Zelda. I'm not going to spend $300 just to play fucking Mario. I'm not into games like 1-2 Switch. That's not for me. ARMS. I don't like shit like that. You know what I mean? I was done with Nintendo after the fucking Wii. I gotta say this. I was done with the Nintendo after the Wii. My wife bought me a Wii for my birthday. The Wii came out in 2006, 2007 for birthday. She bought me one for my birthday. I played that bitch 2 or 3 times. I said, this is not for me. This is for some kid shit. Unplug that motherfucker and get a bitch to the kids. It wasn't for me. You know, the last console that I liked for Nintendo was the GameCube, Eternal Darkness, and they had some third-party shit. But the problem with Nintendo, and I'm going to say this again, are their policies. They have old people in charge that still think that gaming, online gaming, is not that important, that people are still going to each other's house or people hooking up and doing landlines. It's not like that anymore. The fact that I have to use my cell phone to have chat and basic online features that have been fucking standard since 2002, since the inception of Xbox Live. And for people to still go out and support this fucking company, it's fucking lunacy. It's fucking lunacy. You're not getting any. It was an article, right? And I don't know how true it was, but it was what I'm saying. They said there wasn't going to be any mature games on the Switch. Hey, shall I digress? But for those of you that thought you were going to get your, my Destiny's on the go, I told you guys it's not going to work then, because games like that, not to say Destiny, say the Division, always online, For Honor. Listen, this for those of you that still have some fucking hope or glimmer of hope, you think that you're going to get the Switch is going to get these graphically demanding games. And I told you it wasn't, because it's not powerful enough, right? 4 gigs of RAM is 4 gigs of RAM. I don't give a fuck how you spit it. You have about 3 or 4 major fucking multiplats releasing around a long time of the Switch. You got For Honor, you got Mass Effect coming out, and then you got something else that's coming out. She just had Resident Evil just come out, and the Switch comes out next month. None of those games are coming to the fucking Switch. For those who say, well, I don't want my Nintendo Switch to be like, Nintendo would never be like Microsoft or Sony. And how is your console of choice having more games a bad fucking thing? Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, I swear, if I can just slap one of you motherfuckers, I got a PlayStation or an Xbox for that. So that's okay for Nintendo not to have it? Like, what the fuck? You know how pissed off I would be if I wanted to get Tekken 7 and it was a multi-plat, I couldn't get it on my Xbox, or I got a PlayStation for that. The fuck is wrong with you people? I've never seen motherfuckers. Now listen, this ain't no fuck. Now listen, I'm stepping outside of the character next gen. I'm talking directly to like real fucking people here. What's wrong with having more choices on your platform of choice? Huh? Like I don't understand that shit, man. How motherfuckers go out of their way to fucking damage control this shit. I'm looking at this motherfucker video here. Hold up. Look at this shit here. This is why I blame a lot of you fucking core Nintendo fans on why Nintendo is the way that they feel. I'm going to Dr. Trade. Someone sent me this video yesterday on Facebook, right? I mean, look at this shit here. This shit blew my fucking mind. Blow it up. This shit blew my fucking mind. This motherfucker said it's better off to buy a Nintendo Switch now so we can show third party we're going to buy the like what the fuck? It's not our job to show third party that the consumer, us, to show third party that we want games. It's Nintendo's job to do that. It's Nintendo's job to convince third party to bring their games to their platform. Or even better yet, it's Nintendo's job to give third parties the hardware to make their games accessible, to be able to run on a fucking platform. It's Nintendo's job, okay? And what I don't, listen, if you're a Nintendo fan, cool. But what I don't respect from these weirdo ass niggas, man, is these same people that were begging Nintendo to get with the times. And, we're going to, the Switch is going to be different. We're going to have third party support. And you know what? Guess what? The Wii had third party support. Had third party support out of the ass. They got Madden, but guess what? They got the autistic version of Madden. They got Call of Duty, but they got the motherfucking cerebral palsy version of Call of Duty. You see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? You know what I mean? When Nintendo showed that goddamn Switch, it should have been a public fucking outcry. Nobody go out and buy that shit. You know why? Because again, this leads Nintendo to think that, hey, they don't care about voice chat. They don't care about this. They don't care about YouTube. They don't care about streaming. They still gonna buy fucking hardware. Like, this is fucking, it's 2017. My 360 have more fucking features than a console coming out in 2017. I don't give a fuck how much you like Mario. If you don't see the problem wrong with that, you, my friend, are what's wrong with gaming. That a console that came out in 2005 has more features than a Nintendo fucking Switch. You are what's wrong with gaming. I wouldn't mind playing Zelda. Cool. All right, I wouldn't. I don't know what else they make that I'd be interested in, but fine. But again, if I have to buy this platform and feel, that I'm being restrained for just doing the basic shit, boom, go to YouTube, upload shit to YouTube, or hop on Twitch and shit that I'm used to doing, I have to take a step back. I don't need to fucking buy this platform. What if you don't have a what if you have a goddamn BlackBerry, right? Oh, Lord forgive you got a BlackBerry. Because believe it or not, my aunt still has a fucking BlackBerry. But, believe it or fucking not, what if you have a BlackBerry? So I guess you won't be able to talk to your friends and set up parties and all this shit with the Nintendo Switch. Now, what if you were an ultimate bot like my man Xbox 448 and crap got fucking Windows Phone? So you ain't gonna be voice chatting and that shit over there either, right? Well, I don't need to stop it. Same motherfuckers saying that they don't need it, it's not that important. Be online on the PlayStation 4 and the fucking Xbox One popping shit all goddamn day. Stop it. Ain't nobody gonna be safe from my wrath here, man. Fuck that, man. Ain't no more of that kumbaya shit. Everybody gonna start getting that work from now forward, man. And to those who say the Xbox brand is irrelevant, do me a favor. Give your grandmother my number. Give your grandmother my number. You know what I mean? And I need to talk to her. Grandmother got a fat ass. I say, give her my number. You know what I mean? Like, that's real shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is real shit. Like, I'm looking at this guy's channel. Hold on, let me say this right here. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Listen, don't get me. I'll listen, and I don't have a problem with the guy, even though he's not honest as a man. You know what I mean? The reason I want to say that because we all know that Dr. Trey made a bet with me. He bet me that the Wii U was going to sell 10 million units in the first year, right? This was the bet he had with me, and he bet me $50. And of course, it didn't. It sold like 3 or 4 million or whatever the fuck it did within the first year. And he was supposed to give me $50, and this motherfucker tried to give me $50 in eShop points. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of these cats a lot of these YouTubers, man. They don't ever pay their bets. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to what I was saying. If you look at this shit here, and I'm an Xbox guy through and through. I put a quote out on Twitter the other day. I was the first voice for Microsoft online. I didn't see another Xbox me. You know what I mean? And was fighting a good fight, for the giving good Xbox news, right? And then the community grown, and we have what it is today, which is beautiful. Fine, I get that, right? And I will say, do I do some damage controlling? Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just having a fucking ball, bugging the fuck out. I tell you guys all the time, I'll play everything and I own everything, right? I do. But then when you come to shit like this, you know what I mean? Like this is straight damage control. This motherfucker said here, and that's why I know Trey was crazy, the motherfucker. What's the video right here? Oh, here you go, right here. When the developer here from Respawn, when he said that, when they asked him on this interview, will the Titanfall 2 be coming to the Switch? He said, "Fuck no." It's, basically about the hardware being kind of shitty, right? This motherfucker made it just like, no. Only reason why he said that because he was drunk. What the fuck? What? Like literally. He said the only reason why this guy said that because he was drunk. Like I just fucking didn't fucking peed on myself. And I showed my wife gets a kick out of this shit. And I showed her. It's like, is he fucking serious? Yeah, baby, he's serious in the motherfucker. I remember I asked Trey. I said, what would you do if Nintendo started making console? This motherfucker said he had set his channel down. Like, I swear to God, if I'm lying, my grandmother dropped dead. He said he would stop doing videos because he's a pro. Which, and again, I'm not saying there's something wrong with liking Nintendo, I don't want to come up for those that like Nintendo. And again, look, I don't have a problem with Nintendo. That's what got me into gaming. I have a problem with the Nintendo today. And my thing is to you: if you want Nintendo to get better and do better, stop supporting the bullshit. Stop settling for less. Last example I'm gonna give you right before I get the hell out of here. I get ready for BGST. That I'll leave you with the civil rights movement, right? And ride, and blacks weren't allowed to ride in front of the bus, right? And those motherfuckers, right? They didn't give a fuck about black people out there marching and protesting. They didn't care about that. You know why black people got the right to ride in front of the bus? Is when they stopped riding the bus and those companies felt it in their pocket financially. Did that law change? You see where I'm going with this? All the marching and the protests and all that's good. It brings awareness. But if you want something to change, you have to affect the bottom line, which is the dollar. So for those of you that will want Nintendo to get with the times and cut the bullshit out, cut the fuckery out, you want them to do better, don't spend your money. Plain example, you know what I mean? Don't spend your fucking money. If you want Nintendo, why should I have to have a app to talk to my friends on my cell phone? Why isn't that shit within the game? If you think that shit is stupid, don't spend your money. That's just being real. Because if you know what I mean? And maybe the Nintendo Switch may be a huge success. I don't know. Maybe it will. But I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Nintendo is not good for gaming. What do you mean? They're not good for gaming. All right? And the reason why I say that, could you imagine a world where there was no PlayStation, there was no Xbox, all you had was Nintendo? Or even one better, maybe that's a little too drastic for you to. Could you just only own a Nintendo platform? And if you're a gamer and it satisfy your gaming needs. And if you say no, then you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Whether you like the Xbox, whether you like the PlayStation, don't make a difference which way you go, right? You can get one of those platforms and your gaming needs will be met. You get your multiplats, you got your online, you got your features, whatever you're into, right? Maybe you may like one exclusive better than the other, which is cool. So doesn't mean what side of the fence you fall on. You know what I mean? Cool. But if you honestly say to yourself that you can only just own a Nintendo platform, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you want them to change, don't spend your fucking money. Don't. I understand gaming is a very, very selfish hobby. I get it, But overall, I got to say this again. I'm shut the fuck. I'm going. Gaming in itself was in a much better space, a much better place when the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, were out there campaigning in for our dollar. Now you just got Microsoft and Sony out there duking it out. Nintendo doesn't even come to E3 anymore. Like, this is crazy. I mean, they come to their little pre-tape show. Look at their E3 from last year. They showed with one fucking game. Could you imagine if that was Microsoft, if that was Sony? Could you imagine? And that's the problem is that motherfuckers don't hold Nintendo accountable for the dog shit that they do. They treat them like they're the drunk uncle at the cookout that's over there leaving them off to the corner. And that's the problem. Even Iwata, God bless his dead. God bless the dead, right? Wherever the fuck is, but listen, I'm not even going to go there. He said himself that Nintendo doesn't do well at competing. And that, my friend, is the fucking problem. So going back to the topic of this video, is the Xbox brand irrelevant? No. Nintendo is irrelevant. They are irrelevant. Is the Switch going to sell out day one? Yes. It's going to sell out. The Wii U sold out day one. Shit, PlayStation VR, if I'm not mistaken, that shit sold out day one too, right? Real talk, right? You know what I mean? The diehard Nintendo fans are going to buy this, right? They are going to buy this shit in droves, all right? Well, Nintendo's dominating handheld gaming. Cool. Fine. Even in itself, iPad and iOS and Android are eating up the market from them. You know what I mean? But again, I say that to say this: the casuals are not going to spend $300 just to play some niche titles, Mario or Zelda or whatever, because they don't appeal to everybody. They will pay $300 to play their Call of Duties and their Battlefields and X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Their Grand Theft Autos and shit like that. They will spend $300 for that. Cool. And they don't give a fuck whatever platform is on. I get to go online, talk, and whoop de whoop. They're not. This is not for the casual. This is not. This is not consumer friendly. And they're charging for their own. This is dog shit here. But shall I digress, man? This is your boy Next Gen 720. I look forward to seeing you guys on BGST today. We should have a very, very interesting show as always. And actually, let me go to the comment section right quick before I go. Let me ask you guys a question or two. Make this a little swallow. So listen, I got a bunch of comments. All right. All right, truth hurt. I'm gonna take 3 questions. Papa Wood die? Or Papa Wood die. So you gotta love the same guys here, everyday damage control, and laugh my fucking ass here. Droho one put, if you're over 25 and excited for the Switch, then you're in the Nintendo window. Porter, damn my back, Porter Rock. You said send him the link. I'm gonna hey, come and let Porter Rock come in for like 5 minutes and pop his shit right quick. Let me get the hell up out of here. I gotta get ready for BGST. I'm gonna get him thoughts on this shit right here. Hold on, let me send this. I wasn't even looking at the comment section. Here come Porter Rock. But listen, what I said in here, you know what I mean? How the media again is, being like, they're very biased towards the Xbox brand, whether you like it or not, whether you like them or not. You know what I mean? To say that if any of the three, somebody that's irrelevant is fucking Nintendo. It's them. Their last console, what 13 million? I'm just be realistically here. You know what I mean? Rich Cucumber says the GTX 1080 puts the Scorpio to shame. Okay. My man Ibn put, because of what they did back in the day, and because they have the diehard fans still buying it, if they won't change. Hey, Ib, my man Kaboot Harris, I'm gonna be real with you. That diehard market that you're speaking of, it's very niche. It's getting smaller and smaller. Just looking at their numbers, of over their consoles, whether the NES to the Super NES to the 64 to the GameCube. Now the Wii, that shit was bought by soccer moms and everybody across the goddamn world. That was a fucking sensation. You know what I mean? But like Nintendo, it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Wait, before you ask me a question, I want to say live on your channel, bro, especially on Sundays and shit. I want to thank you personally, man, for helping me reach 500 subscribers. To everybody who's listening, who's gonna listen to this dude's channel, Next Gen was one of the driving force to put me on this YouTube shit, because I was kind of like a little chicken shit, you know what I'm saying? And my man was like, listen, I don't give a fuck if you do it on a Nokia phone. Just put your face out there and get it done. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now behind the scenes, this dude is like fucking Don King, bro. That's why I call him Don King. He motivates people. He knows people who could do it good, and he gives everybody a chance. And for all the bullshit people come through, they don't know the shit you do behind the scenes and how good hearted you are. You know what I'm saying? They think this Xbox personality is your real personality, and it's not. This dude is a genuine dude. He will, if he could help ponies become successful, he will. If he could make PC weirdos become successful, he will too. You know what I'm saying? So I personally want to thank you live on the air. That I appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate it, man. It's very humbling, man. But like I said, at the end of the day, I can introduce you to the world, but it's you gotta put the seats in the ass, man, and you're doing a good job, man. You just take that shit and you grow and keep doing what you're doing. I see you out there in them streets, man.
Yeah.
I see you out there, man. You know what I mean?
I say, so what's up, man? What's up? Wait, go ahead.
We talk behind the scenes all the time. Like, I don't take this console shit to heart. Like, I don't give a fuck what you play. Now, I do what I do for a character, and I enjoy. Like, I have everything. I just prefer the Xbox. You know what I mean? You same thing. Port Rock, that shit thing. But you just before the PlayStation, and I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't get caught up in it, but motherfuckers, man, they get caught up on this shit for real. Like you know what I mean? Like shit, I be sitting, I be bugging.
You can't even have a beer with them and shit. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I tell motherfuckers all the time. Microsoft, Sony, they don't give a fuck about any of us, but we're just a dollar sign. Though. They'll never think sudden. No, don't give a fuck who responded to you in the tweet or no. We're just a dollar sign. Don't ever forget that. Let me ask you this.
What's up?
What'd you say, bro?
We're just a statistic. That's all we are.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I don't think people truly, you know, realize that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. So, but I have a question for you. You know what I mean? There was an article. It says here that is the Xbox One brand or irrelevant now, being that the Nintendo Switch is on its way, and how well Sony is doing. And like, and listen, you may feel different. I just feel like this generation per se, thinks just I just feel like Microsoft has never gotten their fair shake in the media. Whether something they did was warranted, whatever the goddamn case is, is cool. And my biggest issue with Microsoft, and for whatever people act like I don't, if Microsoft do something that I don't agree with, I'll be the first to call it out. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm going to voice my opinion. But, whether they're messaging or something, like a lot of things I haven't agreed with Microsoft about, but I'm just being realistically here. We talk about someone being irrelevant. If anything, to me, it would be Nintendo. You know what I mean? And I'm going to ask you this, that what I don't understand and is why isn't Nintendo held to the same standards as everyone else? You know what I mean? We all know we've been talking about power, whether you agree with it or not, for the whole 3 years, right? Power, 1080p, big up. But these same, what I have on both sides of the fence. Here it is, Nintendo coming out with some shit that's weaker than some shit we got in 2000. I ain't talking about the Pro or the Scorpio. It's weaker than 2013 hardware. Now, magically, that power conversation goes away. We're not talking about resolution anymore. All that shit goes away, right? And you know what I mean? And we're just going to know the fact that Nintendo, it's not like I told people, it's not going to be able to run the multiplats. I've been saying that shit from the beginning. Like, why is that? And do you think that Nintendo was irrelevant? Who has the most to prove? Nintendo, or is it the Microsoft or the Scorpio?
This is the truth. The reason why Nintendo ain't held to the same standard is surely because of sympathy and nostalgia. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's sympathy and nostalgia. Because Nintendo, when you think of console gaming, especially if you're like us, the older crowd, it's Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody remembers Nintendo when they were a kid. Everybody remembers their memories with the Marios, the Metroids and stuff. And it's kind of like when Sega fell. You know how bad Sega was doing releasing shitty products, but people still felt sorry for Sega. You know what I'm saying? Even when the Dreamcast only lasted 2 years, people still loved the thing and still felt sorry for Sega. So it's nostalgia to, you could say, I don't want to use the word the originals because, ColecoVision, Atari, but majority of the memories is there. So people are feeling pity. It's all pity on for Nintendo. And the bad part is that pity is not helping Nintendo. It's not sending a message. The people think they're doing the right thing, but they're not. They're not telling Nintendo that they're fucked up, that this is what you need to do. This is what we're looking for. So because Nintendo's not getting that message, Nintendo's always thinking that what they're doing is the right thing when it's not. And by the time Nintendo realizes they're doing the wrong thing, now you're talking 3-4 years later, and now they have to stop the product and start from scratch. Now they can't keep doing that forever because it's going to catch up to them. And what people don't realize, they're going to go the way of like Sega. If they keep making products that fail, they're going to go either third party or they're not going to be a company at all. And people don't realize that. Nintendo can't keep looking for lightning in a bottle every generation. They have to create it. They have to create a standard console, and use their exclusives to compete among the three. Because really, when you look at, let's be honest, when you look at Microsoft and the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, it's really the same shit. We're all playing the Call of Duties, the 2Ks. It's the little things that people appreciate. For the Xbox dudes, it's the Xbox Live. That's why they gravitate toward Xbox Live. For the PS4 dudes, it could be the power or the first party exclusive single player experience. But it's the little things. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, we're all playing 2K. We're all playing the Madden, similar controller. It's pretty much a similar experience. And a casual can't really tell the difference between Xbox and PlayStation. You and I could, me and you, we could go into details. Break down, we could break down the nuts. But a casual, and 9 times out of 10, the casual goes for what's the most cheapest, you know. Yeah. At one point, Xbox was $200. He's like, fuck it, I'll get it $200 and I'll play Call of Duty. The advertising, none of that shit really mattered, you know.
Yeah.
Nintendo needs to do something similar that could grab the casual, you know, and say, hey, we got the same games, good price, plus we got the match. You know, Mario and Zelda can't do this by themselves no more. They need to sit right along the Call of Duties, the Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Side by side.
That is a actually you kind of summed it up in a nutshell, is what I'm saying, why I don't think that this Switch is going to be what everyone say. Of course, it sold out. Everything sells out at launch. I don't give a fuck what it is. You got your diehard, you know, fans that are going to go out there and buy it day one. You know what I mean? But outside of that diehard, your diehard, and everyone was into Mario. Like me, I'm a gamer, which is called a hardcore gamer, or maybe I might put the scene casual. I don't give a fuck about Mario. I don't care about Mario Kart, Splatoon. I don't like those games. Shit, I don't like every fucking Xbox exclusive thing. I don't like every PlayStation exclusive thing. You know what I mean? But what's important, whether you like their exclusive IPs or not, what is important are the multiplats. And what I'm tired of hearing is saying, well, I don't need the Nintendo for my multiple. I got this. And what's wrong with having more choices on your platform of choice? Yeah. Secondly, not everyone can afford to have multiple fucking consoles.
The truth is, with that statement, the majority don't. I mean, look at the disparity between if every gamer was a multi-plat or multi-console gamer, then there wouldn't be this huge disparity between Xbox and PS4. We will own both. You know, the fact is, majority of casuals only own one platform, and that's it. That's all they stuck with.
The biggest and that is the the biggest market out there by far.
Yeah, that's the majority. You know, now when you see news reports and articles saying that every game was a multi-plat gamer, though they are including phones, PCs, and like technically, I don't have what would be considered a gaming PC, but to these articles, my PC is considered a gaming CP just because I could play fucking Bubble Witch or some shit on it. So it's a gaming PC. You know what I'm saying? To the hardcore, I don't have a gaming PC because I don't have, 16 gigs of RAM and a GTX something that could run frames, But to these articles and surveys, the fact that I could play Minesweeper, they consider this, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of those articles are misleading when it comes to saying how many gamers are multi-console owners. The truth is, most console gamers only own one console. Only one. That's it. Simply, they can't afford another 200 or 250 or 300 just to play 2 or 3 games. They can't do that. They can't justify the price.
That's where I'm at and where I'm leading with this. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So if Nintendo wants to be successful with the core gamer, they have to sell the product to where a core gamer. See, a lot of people are even saying. See, the problem is the people who are having the conversations are the hardcore gamers. Me, you, and people on other channels. So they're gonna buy this product whether it sucks or not. And to them in their mind, there's nothing wrong with that. But they're not looking at it from a perspective of one gamer who's gonna buy one console, and that chances are is not gonna be the Nintendo Switch. Because it doesn't have enough games, it doesn't have enough support, and it doesn't have the Call of Duties and the Battlefield. It doesn't have anything to sustain the whole year of entertainment. They're gonna look for the Xbox or the PlayStation for that console. That's just the reality.
And you know what's crazy? Before we get to when I say this, I'm looked at as being the Black Hitler or this Nintendo zealous that hates everything Nintendo. Listen. I'm gonna say this, and I want to be clear. This you can't hate on something that you can afford. Okay, the word hate comes from that you're jealous for something that you can't afford to buy it, or that motherfucker, his leather jacket and all that. You just mad because you ain't got one. So
yeah,
what I'm saying is not coming from a place of hate. It's just me being realistic. I got burnt with the Wii. I got burnt with the Wii U. So you're bugging, you're blaming, you're looking at me with the cock out because I'm very skeptical of the Nintendo Switch. I'm not into handheld gaming. I say I'm a mature game. I don't really care for Mario. But when I bought, and again, these same people that are talking this shit that is so like now they're so pro Switch or whatever the hell. Like can make it right. He didn't own a Wii U, right? I bought the Wii U day one, and I bought Assassin's Creed, the 2Ks. I bought all the big multi-plats on it. Now, of course, I had Mario. My wife's into Mario, but I don't trade in shit, brother. I keep all my shit. You know what I mean? I don't trade in consoles. I'm not that person. But when I saw their E3 2014, and I seen what they had to offer, and the only thing that spoke to me was Bayonetta 2. I couldn't justify me owning this console just to play Bayonetta 2. So while the getting was good, I took that bitch down to GameStop and got about $220 for it. Or whatever, you know what I mean, with my bonus card. And then I put this shit right on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? I got 2 Xbox One, 2 PS4s and shit. Me and my son. So I put it right on the store credit, right on there. Boop. And like, well, yo, why would you trade it? It's about to get. I'm not into Smash Brothers. That ain't my shit. Like, I don't look at that as a fighting game. That's just not my thing. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking those that like it, but to me, it's just shared fucking like. Listen, I'm gonna say this right, real shit. On both sides, this even come from my Xbox brethren, right? Or quick to say that Sony is anti-consumerism, and Sony do got some fucked up ways in the policy. Their customer service suck. And for those of the Sony guys are saying, well, Microsoft everything behind the paywall and this, that, and the other. Microsoft is anti-consumerism, DRM, right? For those that said that, right? You have these same people are now so pro Nintendo, right? If you want to talk about anti-fucking consumerism, if I bought fucking Donkey Kong Country on the Wii, the virtual console, right? When I got the Wii U, you know my purchase ain't come. I had to buy that bitch again, right? Now, if I want to get the Nintendo Switch, maybe Donkey Kong is my shit. I got to rebuy that bitch again for the third time. So you want to talk about anti-consumerism.
So when you buy a digital purchase, it's only for that specific console?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
You understand what I'm saying? Let's be realistic here. So that's why I'm looking at a lot of motherfuckers with cocked eyes. Like, nigga, you was saying all the shit about Sony, or nigga, you was saying all the shit about Microsoft. What about this shit right here? You know what I mean? Like, and again, I know you came in late on the chat or whatever. You know, if you want things to change overall, look, Mike, yesterday, you know what, Donald Trump put the ban on Muslims from certain countries or whatever, which affected a lot of Americans here, married couples, a whole bunch of other shit. I'm not gonna get into that, right? You know what motherfuckers did? America got up and said, oh, hell no. Took to them airports, started rooting, and, you know, the federal, you know what I mean, started affecting, people weren't going to fly, they're not doing this, that. When you affect the bottom dollar, like when blacks couldn't ride in front of the bus, they didn't care about them protests and the marching and all that shit. It's when they stopped riding the bus and they stopped spending their money that they felt it financially, then that law changed. And that's the same thing where all you guys, like the trades and whoever, and shout out to Obi-Wan's my man. Shout out to him. But all this one time about they want Nintendo to have achievements and this, that, and the other, and to have all these things that you guys have been asking about. Then they give you this fucking, it's literally the fucking Wii U. Same goddamn center screen, same parts that they use. Here it is, the Wii U, right? I'm sorry, the Switch. You're not getting none of those things you guys have been asking for at least they've been talking about this Switch from about 2015. Yeah. All the things you guys were begging for, you're still not getting it. And you motherfuckers out there talking about day one purchase.
The crazy, crazy thing is, nobody's learning from history. The first thing they say, oh, this is going to be successful because of Nintendo first party. And this, I'm not being a fanboy. What it is, I'm using history and all the past consoles Nintendo made to kind of make a prediction for the future. So the number one reason is because of Nintendo's first party. Well, Nintendo always had their first party on their products. And as you've seen, back in the consoles back in the day, every console they sold was selling less and less. The Super NES sold less than the NES. The N64 sold less than the Super NES. GameCube sold less than the N64. Despite the N64, that console probably, as terms of first party, has what's considered some of the best games of all time. It had Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time. You know what I'm saying? It had Donkey Kong 64. You know what I'm saying? It introduced the new IP, Super Smash Brothers. And yet that shit's so worse than the Super Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? So saying Nintendo got first party does not make it a seller. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at the Wii, for example. I didn't buy the Wii for myself. I bought it for my nephew at the time, was like 7, right? Did you buy a Wii for yourself to play?
Nah, my wife got it for me. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of core gamers that grew up in Nintendo that did not buy the Wii, like me, you, and fucking K Mega, fucking B Shadows. I know a lot of people that didn't buy the Wii, a lot of core gamers, and yet that console still sold 100 million without the core gamer, and that is who Nintendo's going after. Nintendo's not going after us no more. But the problem is, them going after the casuals, those same casuals, is a gamble. And at $300, the coin is flipping more to not being successful than being successful. They are definitely not going after us because their most financially successful console they ever made was without us. You know what I'm saying? And that was the Wii. And that's
that was bought by
like
the mom and pop,
the Jane Fonda fan club and shit. See, but that's the thing, you know, they're gambling capture that market, you know. But there's a lot of things that's going against the Switch. Number one, the mobile market in terms of gaming is already in full swing. Almost every kid has a tablet. Hell, there's already companies that make tablets specifically for kids, and that's a huge industry. Like the Nobbies and all that shit.
Yeah.
So that market's already in full swing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if Nintendo would have done this shit back in 2012, 2011, before the tablet market got into full swing, maybe they would have had an advantage. But that's a disadvantage to them, number one. Number two, their first party is too small. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to produce 7 or 8 first party exclusives every year. Number three, the hardware. And when we talk about power, we're not talking about resolution or, you know, textures and grass. It's just simply have enough power so that way the third party could comfortably port their games onto the platform. The Nintendo Switch is not power enough to do that. They cannot comfortably port these games over. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're talking about power. It doesn't have to be more powerful than a Pro or anything like that. Just enough to be considered part of this current generation with the Xbox One and PS4 line. Just enough to be equal or similar to those to where, you know, developers can easily port the next Destiny 2 on Red Dead Redemption stuff. You know, make the architecture easy. You know what I'm saying? Because again, most gamers only gamers in terms of owning a console. And Nintendo didn't put themselves in a position to be that number one console or to be the lead console. You know what I mean? That's it. So Nintendo really made it hard for themselves, gambling on the casuals and trying to take advantage of a market that's already settled. You know what I'm saying? There's already a shitloads of tablets out there that kids already have. They already have their tablets. You know what I'm saying?
One bigger than that. I look at my your screen. I look. That's your end. What you got me on your cell phone or coming through something on yours?
No, I'm on the mic.
Oh, I don't know what the hell the feedback was. I look at it like take my daughter, take Maya, right? Who is into, I guess, I won't say mobile. She gets all her video games off the tablet. Subway Surfer, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Now she does know about Mario and Mario Kart because of my 10-year-old Zari has a Wii U. You know what I mean? And she played it with her or whatever the case may be, right? But the biggest problem that Nintendo has been having is I'll give you an even better example. My son, his first console was the GameCube, right? Got him a GameCube, and I think it was like 2007 or whatever. You know, he went to some wrestling game that his cousin had or whatever SmackDown was at the time, and he had it on the GameCube, right? By the time my son got to about 7th, 8th grade, it was Call of Duty online, and he don't give a fuck about Nintendo anymore. Like I always got this saying that I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo hasn't grown up with me. And I'm not saying, because Nintendo does a wonderful job at catering to the younger demographic, but what happens is that demographic gets older. You know what I mean? And like I would like to see them make a mature game. Like could you imagine? I wouldn't mind seeing a Zelda and a Witcher theme like World Cut tomorrow or something else outside of that. You know what I mean? And to me, that is Nintendo's biggest thing. Because if you look, like you say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. I was just looking at one of those articles. And they had the demographic on the most money spent on video games between the ages of 18 to 35. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, it's not kids that make the industry grow. It's adults. And even as a kid, I was kind of spoiled. My grandmother, I was the only grandchild in the house. So my mother bought for me, my dad bought for me, my stepfather bought for me, my grandmother bought for me, my uncle Fouye. Everybody bought me. And even as spoiled as I was, I had a Neo Geo back in the day, bro. I had all that shit. And as spoiled as I was, I didn't get games every month. I got games for my birthday, for Christmas. You know, my sister, a little allowance. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't out there every fucking Tuesday getting goddamn games. You know what I mean? Or how often they released back then. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
And again, Nintendo's exclusives, I always hear this argument. They do sell well, but their exclusives don't move any hardware. You know what I mean? It doesn't appeal to non-Nintendo fans. That is the biggest issue with that. You know what I mean? They're not going to pull away an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy from their platforms. You know, oh, I got to get the Nintendo. They got that motherfucking Mario Kart, motherfucking HD, 4K HDR. Saw motherfucking Bowser throwing that turtle. Because being real, if you played one, you played them all. It hasn't changed. I'm just being realistic here. This is not even no fanboy shit. If you played one motherfucking Mario game, bro, you played them all. If you played one Mario Kart nigga game, you played them all. You know what I mean? And outside of that, like they have to, you know, even the Toad game they came out with I think it was last Christmas. It's nothing but fucking Mario. You understand what, in lack of a better words, you know what I mean? They have to fucking evolve, and they're not evolving. And like I said, but again, for those same people that were asking for Nintendo to give all these things, voice chat, bro, that shouldn't even be something that we have to ask for. We're talking about a feature that's been mandatory in Xbox since 2002, bro. It's 2017, my nigga.
No,
that's my fucking issue. You know what I mean? And you go out and give this company your money. And you can buy what the fuck you want to buy. But if you want Nintendo to survive and be healthy and be here, you have to fucking put your foot down and say no. No one asked for fucking this shit here that they're asking for. Motherfuckers want a traditional console. It's like Nintendo doesn't pay attention to the landscape. They just are fucking oblivious to what Sony sold. What, 55 million units or whatever the fuck they shipped or whatever. You know, what Microsoft is at S30 or closing on 30. Doing very well for themselves. Here it is, you just released something, a niche console that sold barely 13 million units. And you're gonna fucking because again, they put out a next generation console that couldn't run any next generation engines, all right? Cool. Now here it is. They took care of the problem of the console not being able to run make it run Unreal Engine 4. But here's the issue again, like I was telling D, they can run Unreal Engine 4. But they can only run it at medium setting. But here's the PS4 and the Xbox One or whatever. They can run it at high and sometimes ultra setting, depends on the game. You know what I mean? And so again, we right back to the same scenario, bro. With 4 gigs of RAM. I don't give a fuck how you split it, bro. 4 gigs of RAM is fucking 4 gigs of RAM. Now
you know some OS.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Fuck all that. Like, well, it's a different, yes, but it's still 4 gigabytes of fucking RAM. 32 gigabytes of fucking internal storage. Like, what the fuck is going on? So fuck DLC, right? Like, this shit is crazy to me, man. Like, that shit, bro, I'd sit back and I'd be scratching my head like, these motherfuckers is wild,
I mean,
bro.
Just keeping it real, look how much trouble Xbox One had, and it's not a lot, but look how the little trouble Xbox One had sticking with DDR3 and the ES RAM, and that had a full 8 gigs. That's why, like, the Scorpion went straight with GDR5. They're not making that same mistake twice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it had the same amount of RAM and that was an issue. So imagine cutting it in half. You know what I'm saying? This just you can't make this up.
Hey, bro, you had a developer that worked at fucking Ubisoft. He did an interview, and one thing was asking him a question. What he's saying. He said, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's French name. Now, regardless of what I told you, I have a friend that works at a major third-party company. Forget him. What he told me when I was telling motherfucker the Switch is not going to be as powerful as what we have now, and then D on his tire red. But no, I have stocks in AMD with the CUDA cores and all that shit. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Hey, bro, let me say this. Hey, bro, I get paid as being the biggest fucking liar in the guy. I don't know why. I don't know fucking why. Like, I keep it funky 100. Now, my opinion is my opinion, but when I come out and tell you something's fucking fat. Like, motherfucker, like, I ain't got no reason, like, the fuck, I ain't that dude. I'm not even claiming to be an industry insider. But again, I say that to say this, right? You had a developer ex-employee. Now we ain't not talking about the janitor here who worked on several key things at Ubisoft, and he told motherfuckers then that the Switch would not be able to run the same AAA multiplats as the PS4 and the Xbox One. It doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough memory bandwidth, right? Period. You know what I mean? Oh, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Looking at you motherfuckers like, what the fuck?
He's the developer. Like, what is wrong with you?
That's some wild shit there, bro. And listen, I'm gonna see if we get the hell out of here. My question is, have we not seen this movie before? How great you may say that Nintendo's exclusives are, I'm not gonna argue with you. You are entitled to your opinion, but you can't just have a successful console or whatever just depending on your first party. It doesn't work like you.
That's already proven. That's already proven with Nintendo. So I don't even know why they keep using that reason. You know, again, look at the GameCube. Look at the N64. I mean, hell, the N64 got fucking crushed by a brand new console that just came out of the blue, which was the PlayStation. That shit came out of the blue and slapped the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, I mean, fuck. Look at the Wii. Wii's successful, right?
Yeah.
But the Wii Fit sold 35 million. That's more than Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 combined. So it wasn't even the first party that helped the Wii. It was shit like that. We play bowling shit.
Yeah.
The Just Dance and the Wii.
Look at exclusives like Legend of Zelda, whatever. So things was like lifetime sales, which is good though. But you got an install base about 120 million, and you got Zelda coming in at 3.5. Let's let you know that
Skyward Sword
gamers did not buy your fucking the Wii, especially for your exclusives. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, but that's just being realistically here. You know what I mean? And again, that is Nintendo's problem, is that they're trying to catch lightning in the bottle again. And for those who'd like to say that Nintendo is innovative, to you, I said, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Stop trying to put your innovation into a gimmick that may and may not take it with the public, and put that innovation into your games, making bigger and better worlds that come to life, not with some fucking Joy-Con who has HD with Ice Cube. Who the fuck cares about ice cubes in a cup? Like, you know what I mean? And this the reason why the fucking Switch is $300. You're not paying for $300 worth of goddamn hardware. You're paying for a bunch of peripherals that we didn't ask for. The docking station, come on, man. Put out and again, I'm gonna say fuck it. We get the fuck up there. The main issue that the Switch is going to have with developers, because the Switch Pro controller is not the fucking standard controller. They have to make all their fucking games around that goddamn Joy-Con. You know what I mean? They're gonna have NBA 2K18 or whatever, but that's not NBA fucking 2K18. You
even
what I'm saying?
Even a FIFA game is not it's a specific FIFA game for that platform. EA announced. And that's their only project they're working on. EA's working on.
Bro. They're not gonna have the Injustice. They're not gonna get all that shit, man. It's just fucking, and their pricing. Like I said, maybe it will be successful. Maybe it may catch on with the masses. I don't see it happening. I don't, especially not at that price. But hey, I could be proven wrong, and it is what it is. But I can tell you, it won't be bought by 90 million gamers. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? The casual, like that, man. It is what it is. But before we go about here, you got anything else going on with you and your channel? What days of the week you do your show? Like, talk to the what you got here. What do you got?
Shit, man. What's up? Hey, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. 60 Frames No Lie podcast.
Every Wednesday. Now, let me ask you a question. Like, you only do one show a week?
Yeah, I do one show a week, and then I only do one major podcast a week, and then the rest of the week I just push out commentary. I might do it live, or I might just record it and then upload it and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, tomorrow I'll be on the Press Start podcast tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Who the fuck is Press Start? What the hell is that?
The game of coffee.
Who?
Let me look at his Twitter.
The game of coffee.
No, KOFE. You don't know him? My man. Yeah, KOFE. He has the Press Start. He has let me tell you, his Press Start Coffee on KOFI. He has the Press Start podcast.
What type of content? I never heard this goddamn in my life, but okay.
It's a gaming. It's the same thing. Gaming. He talks about gaming and stuff like that. And it's at 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, I'll tune in and check him out there. But he does talk about Xbox, PlayStation, PC, what?
Everything, yeah, all gaming. I don't know what the topics is for tomorrow. He'll send it out. But like every week he holds it every week at 8 p.m. and stuff.
After give me a link to the channel. All right, so but with Wednesday 60 frames, no lag podcast. Who does your thumbnails for you?
Me, I do my own shit.
Oh, you gotta teach me something, man. I got the shittiest thumbnails in showbiz.
I'll show you. I'll show you the. I got the site. It's called. It's really easy. You do it for free, and it's PIX. I'll send you the link on Twitter.
All right, my man. But anyway, thank you guys. I kind of turned this into a show. It's supposed to be like a 20-minute video, but I just want to address one guy in the comment section before I get the hell out of here and make it famous right quick. The guy name was a lazy, filthy Rican. Okay,
that's his name.
He said, "Oh, that's his name." I don't know. I hope he's Spanish with a name like that. He said that's the thing, Zaire. You're not into anything, and that's a big misconception. You like what you like. I like what I like. Just because I'm not a big Halo, I'm not big into first person shooters. Period. Has nothing to do with Halo. I just kind of got burnt out of that on the 360. The 360 with just so many goddamn shooters. Like I got my shit was Rainbow Six Vegas with 2 or whatever. And my most famous achievement was getting 1,000 kills online. Like I love that goddamn game. I just got burnt out on fucking shooters. You know what I mean? It's just not my thing anymore. Like you like what you like, and it is. Everybody has their own preference. Maybe you may like fucking what's that shit? Persona 5. I'm not in this shit like that. You know, I ain't. It's not my thing. We all entitled to our own, our own preference. Doesn't mean I doesn't like anything. Like, it's crazy as hell. Last comment I got here. The truth hurts. First of all, shout out to you, Truth Hurts. He comes week after week with a Donald Trump t-shirt on in his hat and shit. He said the welfare box 1 is the cheapest console in the market for the reason the Wii U has more value than the price drop 1S. Jesus Christ. Man. They said no X-Fag. Can you name me a 2016 Xbox? I'm sorry, exclusive for the Xbox 2016. What they had to come out in 2016? They had Recore, Forza Horizon. They had Gears of War 4. I know I'm missing something. Yeah, they had a couple of exclusives. I don't know what you mean by that.
He's doing the whole. It's on PC thing.
Is it? Oh, because it's on Windows 10, Microsoft own. And to that, and again, this is not even me damage controlling, but to you, and this is real shit here. Maybe I might be showing my age. You can't name me one Xbox exclusive that wasn't in the Microsoft store or whatever on the original Xbox. Like I don't understand that whole talk. Was crazy. We're here talking about console gaming. Like you're mad for Microsoft put their own intellectual IPs in their own store. Could you not play motherfucking God of War in the Vita? Could you not play motherfucking Super Smash Brothers on the 3DS? So again, can I not still play about the whole fucking damn PlayStation 3 library on my Samsung TV? Long as you can't play it on a rival fucking console, which we are talking about consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, I don't see what, it is what it is. The PC, your personal computer, is not a fucking Jesus Christ. I'm gonna leave that alone, man. Who speaks up for the PC? Who desktop?
I think the person trying to make let's use the people are using this excuse, but it's not as big as of an issue that people trying to make it be. Is Microsoft putting their first party going to attract people away from Xbox? Yes, but it's not a lot. It's not like 50 million people decided not to buy an Xbox because now the first party games are on PC. You're probably talking maybe a couple of 100,000 that's going to make that decision. It's not big at all. Like look at for example, K Mega. You know what I'm saying? He didn't buy a PS4 because he got Street Fighter 5 on PC. But like I said, how many people would do that? Very little. Majority of the Street Fighter games are on PS4.
I think Omega thing was for financial reasons. That motherfucker getting it. Look at it like this. If you look at the software,
it's not that big of a deal. You're only gonna get a couple 100,000 gamers
it's not even a couple 100,000. You know what I think?
Like me,
sales
like me, I could have. Like I say,
less than 100,000. Like literally.
So like me, I'm not like even though the games are exclusive, like even though the games are available on PC, I'm not gonna get me a gaming laptop or PC when I could get like a $200 or even by the time November comes. An Xbox One S will cost like $175, $150. You know what I'm saying? Even the cheapest gaming PC to run these games properly is going to cost me $500. You know what I'm saying? $600. And I could just buy something that's like $175 and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not like Microsoft lost 7 million potential consumers that could have bought an Xbox because of this. It's not that big. It's very little. It's not that huge.
Money off the software is not really the hardware, but Last person I want to address in this comment section. Shout out to you, Anonymous Killer. He said, "Next gen, you literally don't like Xbox games. Why do you ride so hard?" Then he comes down here saying, he says, "I seen you. I heard you. I heard the nigga say he don't like. Now I'm not a big Halo fan. He don't like Forza, and not really into Gears. I never said I'm not really into Gears.
I can answer that question, bro. If y'all listen, pay attention. He likes the online. That's where his peoples is at. That's it.
And even better than that, I'm not into first person shooters. Period. I don't like the oven Chanel. I don't like simulation races. Now Forza Horizon, I love. Forza Horizon, I love. That's my shit. But I don't, Gears. I like Gears. I've always been more of a Gears fan than I have been a Halo fan. But even with far as that, but I like the online. I like their fucking, their overall, with achievements and everything. I prefer that. You know what I mean? Over.
And then after a while, especially since you've been doing this at the beginning, and they introduced achievements, those little things keep you on the ecosystem. Yeah. So even if let's say Xbox One, whether Xbox One became the best console of the generation or not, the ecosystem keeps you there. You know what I mean? Because you want to keep building on your achievements. Your friends list carry over from console to console. That we're back to x86, every game you bought on Xbox One, well, hell, even backwards compatibility, it carries over from platform to platform. So now more and more, you're gonna more gamers are automatically gonna buy the next console simply because it's kind of like the iPhone Android syndrome. You just buy the next iPhone because you bought everything on iPhone, and you're gonna buy the next Android because you got everything on Android. And that's how the console is gonna be. Most people are just gonna stick to their ecosystem. So these consoles are becoming more ecosystem based. An actual individual console.
But you guys, he don't even have a PS4. He was still on the PS3. Oh man, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But listen,
who are you talking to me?
Not you, no. The guy Truth Hurt. He don't even have a PS4. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I mean, again, like I said, everybody, you can have your preference. At the end of the day, I think everybody's gonna probably the hardcore are gonna own both consoles. Think if something comes out, I'm there. I don't like to wait, and I want to play them there. That's always been my motto, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, thank you guys for rocking out with me, my man Porter Rock. And we'll see you later on BGST, man. And listen, put your money where your mouth is. Don't support Nintendo.
Yeah.
We out here, man. Bang.